Hi guys, Laura here. I'm here today with two book reviews for the month of July. So my book total went up and I was actually able to finish 10 books, which is awesome. The first book I'm going to talk about is Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I really like this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was a great start to a fantasy series. Um, the reason I gave it 4 stars is because the world building was a little bit weak and it was a little bit confusing to me when the book actually took place, if it took place after our world or before our world, because it had a very medieval feel to it. So I was really, really intrigued. But it also had magic, so I was really confused. And then they started throwing in more modern pop culture references, so I knew it was after. So this will be a spoiler review. I'll put that in the title. Um, but I really liked it. I like the character of Kelsey. I thought her journey was very interesting. And I thought everyone surrounding her was a very interesting. I love learning more about the Mort Queen and about all the history. I loved how this book, the start of every chapter, had a quote from a history textbook in the world of the Tearling. So at least my perspective is that this story happened a long time ago. So this history books are being written about this, and this is someone retelling a story. At least that's my take of it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's at least what I think is going on, which I thought was really interesting because it gives you more perspectives. I also like how this book is broken up into different perspectives. I think we've seen about 6 different perspectives, which was really interesting. I wish we saw a little bit more. I wish we were able to go into the characters that she surrounds herself with a little bit more, like Mace and other people. They were kind of more like third or fourth characters that were not in her immediate story. So maybe in future books we'll get a few more perspectives and we'll be able to learn more about the world. But it's very, very fast paced. But with all first novels, it's a lot of world building, and I just thought the world building could have been a little bit clearer so you weren't trying to second guess yourself when you were reading. But I really like the character of Kelsey. Her whole journey was really, really interesting. I loved how the book ended. I'm excited to see where her path and journey goes in the future. I don't know when the next book's coming out, but I'm very excited to read it. It was highly anticipated, and I was very, very glad that I got my hands on it. I really like this cover, and if you live in the US, it even comes with this little bookmark. And this is the cover again. And this is... Also, I like it. It has a whole map in the front, which I thought was really, really cool. And then the spine looks like a book you'd find in, a library. Yeah, I really, really liked it. It was a little... but yeah, it was a very, very good book, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. I really liked how there was so much violence and there was so much death and murder, and I loved how it really was a little bit intense. It was dangerous. You felt like Kelsey was in danger. I love the presence of the Red Queen. I thought her perspective was really interesting, and I love the presence of magic. I love the things about the slaves. It was so real, so interesting to read about, and all the people she surrounded herself with, the presence of drugs and all this stuff. It was just a really, really, I didn't see where it was going at all, and that's what I look for in a novel. So that is Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I'm going to link my books review below that has a more detailed review on it. And the next book, the final book I read in July, and I read this in literally 2 days, was The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. 5 stars. I haven't read Dystopian in a while. The last Dystopian I read, I think, was Allegiant and Divergent. But it was so fast-paced. The premise is it takes place in dual perspectives of these two characters, Meadow and Zephyr. I'll read the front flap because I think it explains it good. Close your eyes, feel your enemy's weakness, mind over body, mind over body, mind over body. Breathe in, breathe out, now survive. Welcome to the murder complex. You can't see us, you can't feel us, but we're here and we control your every mood. And the cover says, she's trained to survive, he's programmed to kill. And I think that's a very good way to describe the book. Meadow is trained to survive by her father, and Zephyr, unfortunately, is part of the murder complex, which is a secret organization that kills people, and you don't know who any of them is. You don't know why they're killing. But the reason I like this book so much is because normally in books, girls are the ones that feel guilty about murder, but Meadow just accepts it. is like, you know, I gotta kill to survive. Zephyr feels so much guilt and so much pain that it really, really is gut-wrenching to watch. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the fast pace of it. These chapters were so short. They were like maybe like 3, 4 pages each. So it propelled the story really, really quickly. The world, I will admit, was a little bit complicated. I know that some people have had issues with that. But the way I combated that is I just read the book really, really fast. And I was able to figure out the world really, really fast. I know that there's a novella out called The Fear Trials, which it takes place before the novel. I really want to get my hands on that, so maybe I'll try to do a little review about that in the next few months. I know that her new book comes out, I think it's The Murder Code. I think it comes out in May of next year. I'll definitely read it by then. But yeah, it was a really, really fast-paced, interesting novel. I love all the twists that were introduced. I didn't see a lot of them coming. I really thought most of the book was going to be about her finding a job. And when that totally switched, I was like, oh my God. And then it shifted again. It was a very, very different place. Like they went to a lot of different places. It did lack a little bit of explanation, like what things were. But, you know, that's okay in a first book. And I'm really excited to see where it goes in the future. So these are the last 2 books I read in July. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if you guys read them. Let me know what you guys are reading. I'll link both my book reviews below of it on my Book Likes blog and on my Gmail blog. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day and happy reading, everyone. Bye!